Dearly beloved, what the home renovation tax credit has joined together, let no dropping of the writ put asunder. The Bloc and the Conservatives are now sorted together, and who would have thought that the great science of patio repairs and kitchen renos could have brought about so untoward an embrace. Last December, when the great coalition crisis transfixed the nation, Stephen Harper was going on about Duceppe and the separatists in the kind of language usually reserved for exorcism ceremonies, or Kanye West, the ignoramus rapper doing a walk-on at an MTV awards ceremony. Well, now the Bloc and the Tories have buried their several keen rhetorical hatchets. Gilles will support Stephen to save the tax credit for household renovations. Will Mike Holmes be our next Governor General? And we will be spared a general election as a result. In part, Jack Layton and the NDP have had a doomsday conversion as well. Before Michael Ignatieff threw down the gauntlet a few weeks ago, Layton and the NDP had been chest-beating for nearly a year on their irreconcilable opposition to the demon Conservatives as heartless, incompetent, untrustworthy, opportunistic, Bush light, the kind of party, in fact, that only Liberals could support. The NDP voted 79 times against the Harperites, scourged the Liberals as enablers, patsies, and camp followers, and bragged about their role, the NDP's, as the real opposition. Dropped such jewels of scorn as, it's now the Harper-Ignatieff coalition. Well, the spigot from which flowed such perfect sarcasm has been permanently turned off. Mr. Layton, through his stand-in for difficult moments, Thomas Mulcair, announced yesterday that his party will support those otherwise unspeakable Tories on EI reform. It's not so much an entry to the bridal chamber as a one-off romp for the good of the country. Jack and Gilles and Stephen are sort of seeing eye to eye on something once again. Are they hypocrites? Good heavens, no. You have to have principles before you can be accused of abandoning them. And the long minuet between all the parties since the coalition crisis has been nothing more than the absolutely conventional politics as usual Ottawa dance. Posture, spin, and positioning, every bit of it. Much as Michael Ignatieff's sudden discovery of Liberal spine and his announcement that the Liberals were no longer going to prop up Mr. Harper came about only because it was necessary for them. But, irony of ironies, now that the Bloc and the NDP are offering the jaws of life to the Conservatives, the real winner is Michael Ignatieff and the Liberals. Saved from themselves, saved from an election that could quite possibly have hurt them more than Mr. Harper. Don't believe that every Liberal was happy with the Ignatieff gambit when it looked like, just last week remember, it would bring on another election. He hadn't just gone out on a limb, he was revving up his own chainsaw. But now, thanks to the new enlightened accord, the Layton, Duceppe, Harper Home Renovation and EI coalition, Mr. Ignatieff looks like every grad student's idea of Napoleon. Curious, isn't it? The Duceppe turnabout and Layton's forced conversion have saved both Harper and Ignatieff. You can't buy this stuff. Canadian politics, the one sitcom that never gets cancelled. For The National, I'm Rex Murphy.